I love Dallas. Okay, I am a Dallas girl. What's up, my loves? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Terranekah. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and come join the journey with us. So today I am giving y'all a update video on moving to Dallas, Texas as a single mom. So I made a video, I think in 2024, with different tips and information that could be useful if you were moving or moving out of your hometown to a new state. So I will link that video at the top for you in the cards if you want to go back and check that out. So this video will really be like a part 2 to that video. So I'm not going to go in detail about the same things because this is going to be part 2 of that. Even though I made that video over a year ago, I still have been getting comments and feedback and different questions on the video. So I decided to go through the comments and a lot of the questions that I got asked and decided to put it into this video. And that way in the year of 2025, I can give you an honest, true update of what I suggest, my opinions, my experience, what I would recommend, because things have changed. I'm gonna be honest. Since I made that video and the way the economy and the world is working right now, things have really shifted. And like I said in the part 1 video, this is not any type of research. This is based strictly off my experience and my journey and what has worked for me. I have my phone and I have a list of questions that I'm going to be going over. Like I said, I kind of went through my comment section and picked out a lot of the comments or questions that people had, and we're going to touch on it. So let's get into it. So for starters, how's it going living in Dallas? Y'all still love it. So I have officially been back here 3 years now. May makes 3 years. And I still love it. Is it hard? Is it challenging? Do I have my ups and downs? Yes. Even sometimes, do I still think like, dang, maybe I should just go back home? Yes. Do I really want to do that? Absolutely not. But it do cross my mind sometimes because, of course, that's home, that's comfortable. And when things get rough or things get tough, your first instinct is usually to go back to your comfort, right? But I must say, I really love it here. I'm just now finding my footing and my balance with being here. Still, I love it. I can't wait to just continue to explore more of the city. Dallas is so big. DFW Metroplex is so big. There's so much to offer. So we're going to get into it, dive a little deeper. We're going well. Like I said, it have its challenges, but I love it. How am I adjusting being away from family? Being away from family is probably one of the most challenging things when it comes to moving to a new state, moving away from your hometown. It's still a challenge for me. 3 years in, it is definitely still a challenge. My daughter goes back and forth a lot more than me, especially if she's out of school holidays. She will usually go back home. Things are a little shifting a little bit for us now because her dad has actually moved to Texas as well. If you follow me on my regular vlogs, I already talked about this, but her dad has recently moved, so that's kind of new for us. We're exploring that, but overall, we still travel back home a lot. She travels back to Mississippi a lot because that's where all her family is, you know? So it's definitely hard adjusting to not being close to family and just trying to get used to different holidays and things like that. It can be a challenge, but I have really tried to do better at building something out here, building my own traditions and things like that, so I don't feel so homesick when it comes to holidays. And yeah, that's kind of what you have to do because it is a challenge. Do I have a support system in Dallas? I got this question a lot, like how do you do things if you want to have adult time? Do you have a support system? What did you do about holidays? And all that kind of goes back into what I just spoke about. For me, I do have a small support system here in Texas, so everybody's situation is different. So sometimes I have a babysitter, sometimes I don't. That's just the truth. I did have a question on if you want to have adult time, what does that look like? There are some services here that would allow you to have like late night drop-offs. I think they close at like 10, where you could drop your kid off, sign them up for their program, drop them off if you wanted to go to dinner or go hang out with your friends. They do have some services like that here. And I also know a lot of people that have nannies. People have they use nanny services to help watch their kids. So you just kind of have to use your resources, use what works, and kind of figure it out. Making friends in Dallas. Once again, this is just my experience. my story, my journey, everyone. This is not going to be the same for everyone. Two of my closest friends actually live here in Dallas, so I don't really have that issue of making friends. That's a plus, and that makes it a little bit easier for me when it comes to making friends. I have also been making new friends in the last few years, just building a tribe, building a community out here, because you are definitely going to need that. You don't want to be out here isolated and don't make new friends, because how are you going to grow and just get used to the environment and just being open to new friendships. And also, I will say that Dallas has become more of like a transplant, is what they call it, like a transplant city where a lot of people are moving here, and it's moving fast. So I have seen where people are connecting with different groups, connecting with people online. Connecting online is another way to make friends, find people in your area. You have to just kind of find whatever you like to do, find people who are kind of in your same environment, in your same niche, and just kind of go from there. And you have to be open to new connections and being open with making new friends. You can't be isolated and stay in the house all the time, because you're never going to meet anyone else or meet new people. Cost of living. I'm gonna be honest. The cost of living has went up, okay? It costs a cute little coin to be out here. I'm not even gonna cap. I'm not gonna cap. I feel like things have changed like so fast in the last few years. Dallas, Texas used to be very affordable. You could really come out here. Even for me being from Mississippi, the cost of living was still pretty much affordable for me, even though this was a big city, right? Well, now things have really changed. I'm not even gonna lie. It is very expensive to be out here. So if you're planning to move to Texas, you definitely want to do your research. Google, make sure you know what you're getting yourself into, which leads me into the next thing that people always ask: how much money should you have saved? This varies depending on your situation, your living arrangements, your kids, your lifestyle, right? So this number is not just a one fits all type of thing. If I was moving to Dallas in 2025, I would not move unless I had like $5,000. If you don't have at least $5,000, and $5,000 is on a low end. If you don't at least have something to move here with and have some type of cushion, it just might not be the time, unless you know that this is something that God has placed on your heart to do. But if this is just something that you are just trying, I would definitely have at least 5 to 10. 5 to 10, you'll be good. If you got 5 to 10, you'll be good. Like years ago, because I've moved out here with a little or nothing, I've moved out here twice, right? So I moved out here with a little nothing, and I also have moved out here with money saved, and it worked out. And I do feel like if it's for you, it will work out. But just honestly being cautious of just the economy and the world that we're in right now, I would have some money saved before I just up and move to a new state, because things are just, in 2025, things are not the same. It's not like it was 2-3 years ago, and you just don't want to come out here and you don't have nothing and you're homeless or whatever that looks like. You don't want to set yourself up for failure. So I will be honest and say that I would suggest having some money saved. That's not to put fear or doubt in your plans of moving. That's just about being strategic and being honest. And if you have kids, you want to have something. You want to have some cushion there. Which brings me to my next point of the job market. I get asked a lot about the job market. And once again, this is a new year. 2025 is different. It's different here. It's not like when I first moved here and it was kind of fairly easy to find jobs. Y'all, the job market is not giving. I'm going to be honest. People are applying 6 months, 8 months before they're hearing anything back. Like, it's not that type of market where you could just apply and get a job in a day. And that also depends on your industry, right? So once again, this is not a one-all fits all type of video. It literally depends on you, your lifestyle, your job, your education, all that. In general, it's really taking people 3 to 6 months to find a job. So that's something that you want to be prepared for. You really want to try to have some connections if you can. That's going to be your best way of usually finding a job, especially in this market, is having some type of connections or network to kind of maneuver through instead of just applying online. I mentioned in part 1 about temp agencies. So I do have a list of temp agencies that I would recommend reaching out and seeing what type of jobs that they have as well. So some of the temp agencies that I will recommend is Aerotech, Ashton Carter, Robert Half, Cornerstone, Express, and there are probably a few more, but those are the ones that I'm familiar with and have talked to or interviewed with. And I actually found one of my jobs through Ashton Carter, like a corporate temp agencies to help you find corporate jobs and things like that. So I would say use your resources, use the temp agencies. Don't be afraid to use temp agencies. I have noticed a lot of these companies will go through a temp agency before they just hire someone offline, someone who just applied on their sites. So you really want to just use all your resources. Do your research. Research is going to be so important when you're trying to move and make a big step like this. I also got a lot of questions about childcare. Once again, I'm going to be honest, y'all. Childcare is expensive. It is expensive. It is not cheap. And it also depends on your area where you live. But regardless, it's not cheap. Even I'm paying after school still, and I found something that's affordable. It's affordable, but it's still not cheap, right? So you really have to take all those things in consideration and just know what you're getting yourself into. And like I said, I'm not here to sugarcoat. I'm honestly just being honest. Don't be afraid if you feel like this is something that you could do, but you will have to just be prepared. And like I said, childcare is expensive, especially depending on how old your kids are, if they have to go to daycare all day. Those are things that you want to make sure you do your research on before you move. So I got a lot of questions about how did I find an apartment coming from another state. I honestly don't know if this has changed because I've been here for a few years now, but I do believe that the apartment industry have changed their qualifications, and it's a little tougher to get approved because they have gotten stricter on their qualifications. But for me, I was able to use my previous income as my income to move here. As long as I met the requirement, I was able to get approved. I don't know if that's changed or if they want you to have in-state employment. And I do know most apartments would allow offer letters as well. Another thing I mentioned in part 1 was apartment locators. I still believe that that's a good source that you could use. If you Google and find apartment locators in Dallas, a ton will pop up and they can help you. And most of the times they know the qualifications that the apartments are going to require, and they can kind of guide you. It's free to you. If you get approved and move in, they get paid from the apartments. So that's still a good tool to use if you're looking for an apartment. But I will say, y'all, I promise you, do your research, Google, call these apartments. If you see some apartments you like, pick up the phone and call them and ask them what's their qualifications. And if you're moving from out of state, what documentation do you need? Because it is tougher to get apartments now. I guess with everybody doing all the things, if you know, back in 2020, 2021, so they have cracked down and it is a little tougher to get approved for certain apartments. Once again, I keep making this disclaimer because I know everybody's situation is different. This goes to what area that you're moving to. What type of apartments are you applying for? Some apartments are not that strict. Some will probably just let you in with your check stubs and let you move in. It honestly just depends. That's why I keep stating the importance of just doing your research and doing what's best for you. So the last thing I want to talk about is the weather. I got a lot of questions about the weather. And once again, I'm going to be honest. Things have changed here. Things have changed. The weather is crazy. It's all over the place. We've had snowstorms. We had snowstorms in January this year. I think they were a little early this year. Usually they come around February or March, but we had snowstorms, which are really ice storms because it's not real snow. It actually did snow one of these times because it snowed twice, I think. Yeah, it snowed a lot this year, which is not a usual thing for Texas. So we've been getting snow. It hails really bad in the DFW area. So be prepared. And we do get hail and we have a lot of hailstorms. Depending on what area that you're in Texas, you can experience tornadoes. If you're in Dallas, Dallas has a lot of flooding. And in the summertime, everybody know it's hot. In Texas, it is hot. Okay, you probably gonna walk outside and it's like 110 degrees. So I'm just being honest. So those are some things that you want to be mindful of as well when it comes to the weather. It's really crazy. So I'm making this video to just give you my honest and fair opinion on moving here. If you feel in your heart that you want to move to Dallas and you can do it, do it. I promise you won't regret it. But I also just want to let you all know the true and real of how it is out here right now, because the economy is just different. 2025, things are just different, and you got to be ready to get out here and get it. Like, this is a big city, and like me coming from somewhere like Mississippi, small town, you literally have to come out here and put in the hard work and make something happen for you and your family. So I hope this was helpful. Once again, if you have questions, let me know in the comments. I will answer your questions as best as I can. So I hope this update was helpful for someone. But yeah, I love Dallas. Okay, I am a Dallas girl. So if you want to move out here, I definitely recommend. But like I said, just make sure you have your head on straight. Do your research. And if you haven't watched the part 1, once again, I will tag it. And I will also link it in the description box. So be sure to check that out. I hope you all enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share it to your people. Put them onto the journey. And I'll catch y'all on the next one.